Hello everyone, good evening. This is Shivaram Krishna. I'm going to discuss the geography and environment because both are related, interrelated. I can discuss about that. In total, in this exam, we have around 20 questions. 20 questions in combining from geography and environment. And one thing before I start these questions and discussion, I want to tell that for UPSC CSC, every faculty will say this, but we have common exam for both civils at the same time for Indian Forest Service. Yes, for prelims we have common exam. That is the reason why environment generally dominates in the question paper. So environment is very important subject for UPSC prelims, at least at this stage. For mains we have two different mains. For forest service mains will be different, for civil services mains will be different. So in that context, my focus would be more here on the environment aspect, because geography questions are very limited in this exam. In this year's exam, only around 8 questions are properly from geography, and the remaining 12 to 15 questions, they came from environment itself. So I will discuss them in detail. And coming to the my analysis, my experience said I have given 5 UPSC attempts, and out of all of them, geography right now in this exam is relatively doable. So it is relatively doable, and I can say easy to moderate geography questions. But coming to the environment, mostly they are current affairs dominated. So when I say environment preparation, the only thing we have to focus more is current. In the last 1 year, what happened? Different conventions would be there, different species would be there. So they generally appeared in the question paper. So let us discuss about the questions. In this set D, this is set D question paper. So starting from 21st to around 40th question, we have geography and environment. See the first question, 21st question. Tunguraho volcano, which was declared as a global geopark by UNESCO in 2025, is situated in one among the following countries. In which one among the following countries? Coming to questions of this type, either they will have 100% strike rate or they will have 0% strike rate. For example, if you have listened about this name, Tunguraho volcano, somewhere in the newspaper in the last 1 year, you will 100% tell the answer, whether it is Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia or Colombia. But if you, God forbidden that you haven't gone through the name at all, you haven't read the newspaper on that day, let us say. So if you miss the current affairs, that is the problem. In questions of such manner, one-liner questions, we should not miss the options, because they are low-hanging fruits in this examination, one-liner questions. So the point here I want to highlight is not the question, not the options, but importance of current affairs. If you have listened about this Tunguraho volcano somewhere in the newspaper, 100% you will say this is in Ecuador. How can I explain? Is there any concept here? Nothing. This is a volcano and the name of the volcano is Tunguraho volcano. How can I derive something, the country name? We can't do anything. It is not a concept. It is simply a fact. So questions of this type, they will either have 100% or 0%. We shouldn't miss them. So please focus on current affairs. Whenever you have a volcano, whenever you have some natural disaster, you have to take a point, noting it down. So here the answer is Ecuador, but basic facts about it. Tunguraho volcano. When I say Tunguraho, it actually means the throat of fire. It means throat of fire, throat of, generally from the volcano we get magma, right? So throat of fire. And this volcano, why it came in the examination? Because UNESCO recently it has given the recognition of global geopark. Whenever UNESCO gives some recognition, obviously it becomes important. Different types of recognitions are there. For example, we have national parks, we have biosphere reserves, we have wildlife sanctuaries in India, and we have even what I can say, internationally, Man and Biosphere Program was there. MVP, Man and Biosphere Program. Such recognitions, if ever come in the newspaper, you have to note it down. And here, for this year, Tunguraho volcano came in the examination for 2 reasons. One reason is, in 2023, later year of the 2023, there was a major eruption of this volcano. Tunguraho volcano. And not that. The importance was, for last 1 year, 23 to 24, for 1 year, the volcanic eruptions, the ashes were still resuspending in the air itself. So that is the intensity of the volcano. For that reason, UNESCO has tried to give some recognition as a geopark, because it had to conserve that natural pristine environment. People shouldn't go there. It has to be first conserved, and after that what we can do to let this volcanic effect on the human environment to come down. We can do something there, but here the current affairs part is dominating. That's the reason the question came here. Tunguraho volcano, it is in Ecuador. Ecuador is a country of which continent? South America. And what are the boundary countries? The same countries. Here you have Peru, Bolivia and Colombia. These are the 3 bordering countries. So even if you know it is in South America, you can't answer this. You have to 100% know whether it is Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia or Colombia. So the answer here is A, Ecuador. And the reason why it came in the exam is because of the current affairs. You got the point, right? Chalo. Right. Let us see the next question. 22nd. With reference to the Madhav National Park, which of the following statements is or correct? Always please focus whether he is asking correct or incorrect. If it is incorrect, he will generally highlight in the bold letter. So you have to focus on that. Madhav National Park, why it is important? Last year, Madhav National Park was announced as a tiger reserve. So again, current affairs. So whenever you listen something, tiger reserves, national park, biosphere reserves, you have to note it down. So here first statement, it was declared as a tiger reserve in India in 2025. So years are also very, very important. Sometimes he will just make it 24 or 23 just to confuse us. But here 25 is correct. Last year it was declared as a tiger reserve. There is no concept, simple fact, it was declared. And second fact, Sakhya Sagar. Whenever you listen Sagar, always remember Nagarjuna Sagar, some Sagar, Har Gobind Sagar. Sagar means artificial reservoir. It is not natural lake or something, it is an artificial, something man has created. So Sakhya reservoir or Sagar, which is designated as a Ramsar site. What is a Ramsar site? Generally Ramsar site recognition is given to wetlands. Yes or no? Wetlands of international importance. So here one is tiger reserve, important concept, and second statement Sakhya Sagar, which is designated as Ramsar site, is situated within the national park itself. And in the same Madhav National Park, he is saying Sakhya Sagar is there at the core of the national park. How can we derive it? We can't derive. There is no concept. Simply it's a fact. So you have to go through this point somewhere in the newspaper. It is correct statement. Sakhya Sagar is a reservoir which is constructed around a river, just along a river called as Maniyar. There is a river, Maniyar river, in the Madhav National Park. Just alongside the reservoir has been constructed. And this is situated in the core area of the Madhav National Park. For that reason, statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is also correct. Coming to the third statement, its area is shared between Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. Again, you should have geographical knowledge. And here, this Madhav National Park is completely in a district called as Shivpuri district of Madhya Pradesh. 100% it is in Madhya Pradesh and there is no connection in at all to the Rajasthan state. Okay, but why this option was framed? It was consciously framed because Rajasthan and just to the right of or to the east of it we have Madhya Pradesh. In the Madhya Pradesh there are two important tiger reserves, very famous. One is Kuno National Park. You might have listened in the current affairs because a lot of this translocation of tigers and cheetahs is right now happening. So in that context, conservation of cheetahs and tigers, in that context, Kuno National Park is very important. And Kuno National Park, in the Rajasthan, we have another tiger reserve called as Ranthambore Tiger Reserve. And this Madhav National Park locates exactly between these two and it will connect these two. And why he might have framed this statement? Because students may confuse that there might be some boundary between Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh for Madhav National Park. People may confuse. In that sense, he might have framed this option. But in reality, it just connects Ranthambore Tiger Reserve with the Kuno National Park. But it is 100% in Madhya Pradesh itself, in Shivapuri district. So here the answer is statement 1 correct. It was declared as tiger reserve. Second statement is correct. There is a reservoir in between this Madhav National Park called as Sakhya Sagar. And third statement is wrong because Rajasthan has nothing to do with the Madhav National Park. So option is 1 and 2. Option B. Next, third question. With reference to the climate of Andaman and Nicobar Island, always remember why question has been framed is very important. For me, not the question, not the options. Why the question came is important. Because in the Andaman and Nicobar, recently there is a debate is going on. Why? Great Nicobar project. A lot of people say, environmental activists say, that project may cause in future some environmental disaster. So there is some debate going on about Andaman and Nicobar Islands. For that reason, this question 100% came. That is the reason. Reasons are very important, not the questions, not the options. They will generally come. So here, the genesis of this question is because of the debate of climate change. Chalo, let's see the question. Climate of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. It can be defined as humid, tropical, coastal climate. Whenever you see such questions, you shouldn't remember anything. Simply concepts help. This is a conceptual question, conceptual statement. Andaman and Nicobar Islands, it is at near to 8 degrees latitude. Because India's last latitude is 8 degrees and just above that we will have the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So India is somewhere here like this. Okay. So somewhere we have Andaman and Nicobar. Here 8 degrees means 23 and a half degrees to 23 and a half degrees. This total climate is called as which type of climate? Tropical climate. So first tropical climate, this is correct. And obviously these are islands. Islands means we will also have coastal type of climate. So both statements, both words are correct. And coming to this point, humid climate. When we say humid, humid means there should be greater amount of water vapor in the air. Simply, that is called as humidity. Water vapor should be more. When water vapor should be more? Generally, just above the seas, just above the oceans, we'll have water vapor more. So in that context, Andaman Nicobar Islands, they are just between the, they are in the South Bay of Bengal, in the ocean, surrounded by ocean. So obviously, this evaporation happens continuously. So that adds more water vapor to the atmosphere. So it is humid, correct? It is tropical because the location, and it is coastal because of the nature. So first statement is 100% correct. Second statement, it receives rainfall from both southwest monsoon and northeast monsoon. Just normal common sense will say that India itself, when we say Indian climate is monsoon type of climate, am I saying that Indian climate is southwest monsoon type of climate? No, I am saying Indian climate is monsoon type of climate. Monsoon type means we have two types of monsoons, southwest monsoon and northeast monsoon. The only difference is when it comes. Southwest monsoon, when we see in which months? From May to September, we see the southwest monsoon, and from northeast is from October to December. During these months, throughout the India, we never studied except Andaman Nicobar, did we study like that anywhere? Indian climate is monsoonal type of climate. So simple common sense says that be it Andaman Nicobar, be it Tamil Nadu, Kerala, whatever it is, India experiences both southwest monsoon and northeast monsoon. So there is no underfall or pit here. Simply it's a plain statement, it is correct statement. And now here comes the trap. Maximum precipitation is between December and May. December and May. What actually happens in India between December and May? What is the season we have? December to May. Winter season after December. So in winter, do we expect any rain at all? No. By December, we will see the end of northeast monsoon. And from December to May, we don't have any rainfall at all. So in that sense, be it Andaman Nicobar or be it Kerala, anything. But between December and May, India experiences lowest rainfall because of the winter, extreme winter season. So it may be Andaman or anything. It cannot experience maximum precipitation. The precipitation should be minimum because they are the lean months from December to May. So here I need not have any expertise knowledge about Andaman and Nicobar. Just common sense says, geography common sense says that option 1 is correct, 2 is correct, 3 definitely wrong. So 1 and 2 is the option. 23. Chalo, next 24th question. Yeah, this is again a conceptual question. You need not mug up. Which of the following geographical features or phenomena associated with peninsular block of India? Peninsular block of India. So this block is triangular in shape, and at the western side we have Western Ghats. On the eastern side we have Eastern Ghats. In the northern side we have Aravalli Mountains here. And this is what in simple NCERT concept, peninsular block of India. And what are the main points? Just before going to these points, I have to remember whenever I listen peninsular block of India, it means it is the ancient landmass, and it was separated during the period of Gondwana. Yes or no? From the Gondwana, it was separated. So because of this ancientness, we will see igneous rocks and metamorphic rocks. So these are the basic facts about the peninsular India. Now let us see. First option, submergence of parts of the western coast is due to the tectonic activity. First we have to know whether this western coast of peninsular India, is it in submergence mode or not. How can we know? Generally most of the ports, important deep ports, where do we have? Are they at the eastern coast of India or are they at the western coast of India? I repeat the question. Deep ports. Deep. When I say deep, immediately the elevation of the mean sea level should be dropping very severely just after 1 or 2 kilometers. Where we will see emerging coast, is it the eastern coast or the western coast? Eastern coast, you don't have the immediate deep ports because of the longest continental shelf. Yes or no? Continental shelf is more in the eastern side, but here continental shelf is very less. Just after 5 kilometers, we will see some hundreds of meters of oceanic surface. So here the point is submergence is there, not on the eastern side because continental shelf is very longer. But on the western side, immediately we will see important ports we can construct. For example, Vizhingham port, there's a question on it, and Jawaharlal Nehru port. We have different ports. So where we can construct ports? Only when deep water is there. And deep water we see only on the western side of the peninsular block. So that deepness, why that deepness came? It is because of the submergence of that part. Why that submergence happened? Already I told, ancient landmass. It was cut off from the Gondwana land, and whenever some landmass is cut off from the Gondwana land, obviously you will experience sudden depth to the ocean, and because of that reason there is a submergence, correct? Why that happened? Because of the tectonic activity, and because of this exact reason we see lot of ports, they come on the western side of the India. First option correct. Second, presence of residual mountain ranges such as Velikonda hills and Mahendragiri hills on the peninsular block of India. See, when I say it is ancient landmass, there are western Ghats which are having highest peaks. There are eastern Ghats, but the peaks in the eastern Ghats are not that higher like in the western Ghats. The reason is continuous erosion. Continuous weathering was happening from western side to eastern side. Why this was happening? Because of this time, geological time frame. Some millions of years ago, since then peninsular block was there, na? So eastern Ghats, continuous eastern Ghats were right now, they are not at that height because of the erosion or weathering activity which is going on. For that reason, whatever the mountains which were there in the eastern side, eastern Ghats, they are residual mountains. When I say residual means, they are not in their original form. Originally eastern Ghats are up much height, but still right now if you see, their height reduced, just like Aravalli mountains. Aravalli mountains now oldest mountains, so we don't see much height there. In the same way, eastern Ghats also, the height reduced because of the erosion, continuous erosion. And here this residual word is important. When I say residual, it means after erosion, the peaks are now reduced. Examples he has given, Velikonda hills were there, Mahendragiri hills. Where is Velikonda hills? They are in the AP, eastern Ghats, and Mahendragiri hills, they are in the Odisha. So both these hills, they are simply nothing but residual mountain ranges. That is the statement he has said, and this is 100% correct. Why residual? Because of the long-term nature of the peninsular block. There is continuous erosion and weathering. Now third one, there is a deep V-shaped river valley formation by fast flowing rivers. Where do you see fast flowing rivers? Whether do you see in Himalayas or in the peninsular rivers? Himalayas. Because of the young fold mountain nature of the Himalayas, you will see the rivers which are also young in nature. So whenever they come from the highest peaks, they generally erode everything along with them. So gorge formation, river valley formation, that happens in the Himalayas. So that is the main difference between Himalayan rivers and peninsular block rivers. So here, because of the ancient nature of the peninsular block, we don't see fast flowing rivers. The rivers are very slow. Here, they don't form any deep gorges. Only exceptions were there. For example, Narmada river, for example, Tapi river, they form as just localized gorges. But that we should not take here as a generalized fact. The generalized fact is only Himalayan rivers form the deep gorges. But coming to the peninsular rivers, they don't form any deep gorges because they are not fast flowing rivers. So this option is wrong. 1 and 2 are correct. So option B is right answer. Coming to the 25th question. Okay, Sagarmala program of the government of India. So simply, if you know current affairs, simply this is a current affairs based question. Sagarmala program seeks to achieve port-led economic growth. Sagar, ocean, Mala, that means garland. How we can garland the ocean? Through the ports, construction of the ports. So here ports are the instruments of economic growth, correct? And through cost-effective and sustainable coastal infrastructure. This is a very generic statement. Sagarmala program, we generally do ports development. Through the ports development, what happens? India develops. So that is the essence of this statement. This is correct. Coming to the second one, the success of the Sagarmala program is reflected in the significant growth in coastal and inland waterway shipping along with the improved global ranking. Simply what he is saying is, this is what Sagarmala is, and this is achieved through evidence of this. What is the evidence? He is saying in the recent days, coastal shipping has been increased and inland waterway has been, shipping has been increased. He himself is saying it is increased. Why? Because of the Sagarmala project. So he is asking whether it is right or not. Obviously, when you launch a program, when you are going on constructing the ports and everything, shipping will increase. That here the two important components of Sagarmala. One is coastal shipping and coastal port infrastructure. Second component is inland water infrastructure. We have National Waterway 1, Ganga River, and National Waterway 2 over Brahmaputra River. So here also we are constructing the ports for the freight movement, for the passenger movement. So this is happening under the Sagarmala project. So obviously shipping will increase. Definitely increase. That shipping, coastal and inland waterways will increase. At the same time, whenever you construct more ports, our performance at global stage will also increase. Our ranking will increase. So it's a very generic statement. Statement 1 is correct. Statement 2 is also correct. Third one, Sagarmala 2.0 aims to position India as a global maritime innovation hub, aligned with the Atmanirbhar Bharat and Vikasit. Very generic statement. If you read it just like a government document, if you feel like a government document, like a boring statement, that obviously will be correct. Okay, whenever you see government documents, you will see alignment with Atmanirbhar Bharat, alignment with Vikasit Bharat, Amrit Kal 2047. So this is right statement, but this is not enough. The options are the actual question. That's the reason I did not focus much on the statements. The actual question is this. Here comes the real challenge. Which of the above relationship statements is correct? Statement 2, that means improvement of shipping, that statement, it validates the effectiveness of the strategies which are envisioned in the statement 1. Statement 1 says port development, so that India develops. Statement 2 is saying because of the Sagarmala, shipping increased, coastal shipping and port inland shipping increased. So he is saying that whatever the strategies which are envisioned in the statement 1, the goals, they have been achieved through statement 2. Statement 2 explaining that it is happening right now, shipping is increasing. Is that correct or not? Yes, because of the Sagarmala program itself, coastal shipping has been right now increasing. So statement 1 obviously correct. Statement 3. What is statement 3? Sagarmala 2.0, which was launched in 2025, whereas Sagarmala original project was launched in 2015. Okay, Sagarmala 2.0, which is trying to make India as an innovation hub, that was the statement, right? So this extends the objectives of statement 1, obviously, because it came after 10 years. So it is extending the objectives of the statement 1. Statement 1 is just simply port-led development. But statement 3 is making India a maritime innovation hub. So there is an extension of objectives, correct? By embedding them into future-oriented innovation framework, generic statement, and obviously right statement. And here comes the trap. Statement 3. Statement 1 contradicts the statement 3. You don't read anything, just read the line and you can just eliminate it. Why? Statement 1 is port-led development, so that India develops. Statement 3 says in future, Sagarmala, by 2047, we have to achieve the maritime innovation hub. Is there any direct contradiction between statement 1 and statement 2? If statement 3 says we have to become great in port development by 2047, that means he is saying statement 1 is opposite. Is there any emotion that you get by reading the statement 1 that India should go back not to develop the ports? Is there any voice like that in statement 1? No, right? So contradiction, there is no contradiction. So obviously 3 is wrong, only 1 and 2 are correct. So option is B. Are you getting the point? I'm trying to inculcate not only the exam approach, but even the conceptual discussion I'm doing here. Okay, so if you get that, I would be very happy. Next, 6th one. Very factual question. If you read in the newspaper, you can do that. Otherwise, you have to leave this question. And what is the question? Rhynchostelis retusa or Rhynchostelis retusa. It is a foxtail orchid. This is a normal orchid, normal name. This species gurinchi, generally when you see species based questions, you have to definitely note it down. Rhynchostelis retusa, it is an epiphytic orchid. Epiphytic. What is epiphytic? Phyte means plant or tree. Epi means over. Epiglottis. Here we have epiglottis, just like epi means over. So if there is a tree and on the tree there is another plant which is growing, let us say on the branches of the tree, that type of plants are called as epiphytic orchids. So here there is no concept, it is a fact, it is an epiphytic orchid. Unless and until you know it, you study it, you can't do that. So there is no concept here. Simply this is right statement. Epiphytic plant, this Rhynchostelis retusa. Second statement, the species is endemic to the northeast India. And there are some terms, like there are some species which are native to some place and there are some species which are endemic to some space. What is meant by endemism and what is meant by native? Native means generally this plant will occur in northeast India, but not only in northeast India, this plant might also occur in Western Ghats, might also occur in somewhere else, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, but in northeast India it will occur. That is called as nativity. But coming to endemism, here exclusion is there. Only in this place that species should occur. Nowhere else in India we should see that species anywhere. For example, Western Ghats, we should not find this. Only in the northeast India we should find it. That is the difference between nativity and endemism. Now coming to the statement. The species, this one, is endemic to the northeast India. That means he is saying this species is found only in the Northeast India. You can never see this species anywhere. Just leave about the fact. Common sense says maybe this species has been found in Northeast India, but who knows? There might be one plant of this species somewhere else in the Western Ghats, very deep. Nobody might have gone there, might have seen there. How can you say 100% with accuracy that there is no plant of this species anywhere else in India, unless and until you searched every plant? Can you do that? You can't do that, right? So generally statements of these are called as extreme statements. So they are endemic to Northeast India means they are found nowhere else. In Western Ghats, they are not found. In different places, they don't found. But actual reality is, in Northeast India, they are generally there. But along with that, in the Western Ghats also we see this Rhyncho stylis retusa. So here, this endemic is wrong according to me. It should be native. It should be native. So this statement 2 is wrong. It is the state flower of Arunachal Pradesh and Assam. And this is the reason why this question has been asked in the question. So in Assam, there is a festival called as Bihu. Bihu festival, very famous festival. And recently, this month of examination, May, generally in every May we have this exam, right? May is the month in which we see this 100% blooming of this Rhyncho stylis retusa. Full blooming, we can see this species in full blooming mode in May month. So there might be two reasons why this question was asked. One is because of two states having the same state flower. So that is one reason, very unique, right? So this is right statement. Arunachal Pradesh and Assam both are having the same state flower. That is one reason. Second thing is it has some cultural significance, just like Telangana has Tangedu, cultural significance. So a question can be asked. Just like that, here Rhyncho stylis retusa is a culturally important flower for both Arunachal Pradesh and Assam. So this statement is correct. First statement, epiphytic orchid, is correct. But coming to here, this should not be endemic. It should actually say native. It is not endemic to Northeast India because we found this species in Western Ghats also. So 1 and 3 are correct, and that is the option B. Next question. Which of the following statements regarding moidums? Why moidums was asked? Because last year again UNESCO recognized it as the World Heritage Site. So current affairs based question, very important. What are moidums? Simply, in the Egypt we have pyramids. What are pyramids? They are burials. Pyramids means simply burials, right? So just the practice of burials, Egyptian pyramids were there. In the same way, in Assam, there is a kingdom called as Ahom Kingdom. Ahom kings. So they ruled approximately around 600 years in the Assam region, and they have a practice of burials called as this Moidum culture. So burials, simply they are burials. In the Buddhism, we have seen this stupa culture. Stupa culture, what is a stupa? Simply a mound. So just like that, whenever a royal person died or whenever a noble died, people used to construct these moidums. So because of that cultural significance, UNESCO right now recognizes these Assam's moidums as a cultural World Heritage Site. So in that context, this question might have asked. Let us see the options. These acted as army fortresses. They are burials. They have nothing to do with army fortress. So this option is wrong. They were recreation centers for royals and nobles. Whenever somebody dies, will the royals and nobles go there and enjoy? Is that a recreational space? Illogical. Wrong. They were burial grounds of the royals and nobles. 100% correct. They are burial practices. They are battle drill centers of the royals and nobles. No. So simply these all three statements were given to confuse you. The actual answer is they were burial grounds of the royals and nobles. So option 3 is right answer. So moidums is simply burial practices. Next. Very beautiful question, because whenever you see something about livelihood of the people, something about democratic values, democratic local fisheries population and their livelihood, UPSC will definitely focus on that. Be it world concept or be it Indian concept, whenever government goes to the grassroots, there definitely a question comes in the UPSC. In that context, this question is asked perhaps. Let us see. United Nations Ocean Conference, it happened in June in France. There what happened? UN organization called as FAO, it has demonstrated on different issues. It came there and it had demonstrated on different issues. What are the issues? Marine issues and ocean issues. Generally, what issues will be there? Plastic pollution, all these type of conservation projects should be going on, but actually governments are going for infrastructural projects rather than conservation projects. That is the issues. So here, especially on sustainable fisheries and aquaculture, this FAO was speaking at this conference. And in that context, it used a word called as blue transformation. And under this blue means ocean, significance of water, simply it's a symbol, verbal symbol, blue means. Blue transformation, it said, this FAO said, there are 4 betters we have to follow for this blue transformation. At this conference, it told. Most of the times in the newspapers, we will see there is a day, let us say May 24th, and there will be a theme, international theme. Some theme will be there. Be it Women's Day, let us say. There should be some theme. In such themes are very important for UPSC also. In the same context, there is a conference where FAO was speaking. It was speaking about maritime issues. In that context, it said something about blue transformation. Under that, what we have to do for the development of the local fisheries, local environment, and protection and conservation of the oceans. In that context, it said there are 4 things we have to do. Now the UPSC asked, what are those 4 things we have to do for protection of the oceanic and sea environments? Now it is a factual question. Unless and until you see the newspaper, you can know what is the theme and what this FAO has said. How can we know that FAO has said? Definitely we have to read the newspaper. In that context, this option is better production, better nutrition, better environment, and better life. This is what exactly FAO said. Just a conceptual background. Better production. Production means what? Aqua production. Aqua production means we have to produce more fishes, different types of species we have to produce. Aquaculture should happen around the world, so that whenever you increase the production, it will also increase the income of the people, local people. Livelihood opportunities will be given to the local people. That is the idea. So it said, FAO said, there are a lot of issues, marine issues. The solution is, first solution is better production. We have to focus on the better production. Second thing, whenever you produce more, let us say fishes, now what you get? You get more protein, so better nutrition will be given to the local people, at the same time to world. Because of the world trade, these fishes will go to somewhere else where people will consume and they will get the proteins. So here nutrition is the second thing which this FAO is saying. We have to produce more so that nutrition will be better. And for that, what we need to have? Background environment. We have to conserve the environment. What environment? This fisheries and marine environment we have to conserve. What is this? What should I do? Do you know? No. Okay, fine. See, last one is better life. So whenever you have better produce, better nutrition, how can we achieve these two? Because by conserving the environment, marine environment, and ultimately what we can assure and guarantee is the better life. Better life to whom? To the local people. Local livelihood we can be protecting. So that is what exactly FAO was saying. So whenever something said about the local people and their development and something about world food security, that generally becomes important in the exam. So here the option is B. So that's what it is. Can I close it and open again? Huh? I did not get it. This one? Yeah, okay. Thank you. Right. 29. Chalo. Factual question, Lake Turkana. Why this question is asking generally? Again, I am focusing on why. Because current affairs says Lake Turkana is right now the level, water level is being increasing in the Lake Turkana. Water level is being increasing, and whenever you see more water level, and this water is not good, not fresh water. Lake Turkana is completely closed. It has no outlet. It is not, the water of the Lake Turkana is not being going into any sea or any river. There is no open outlet. For that reason, whenever you see closed water space, it is a lake. What is a lake? Closed water structure. Be it natural, if it is natural, we can call it as a lake. If it is an artificial, we can call it as an artificial, reservoir. If it is artificial, it is reservoir. If it is natural, it is lake. Surrounded by complete land. There is no outlet. And the problem here is Lake Turkana for the last 3-4 years, 8 to 10 meters of water level has been increasing. And that water is not fresh water, that is completely salt water. That is completely alkaline water, which is not good for fishes. So whenever this water level is increasing, salt content is increasing in the Lake Turkana. For that reason, fishes, complete fishes and aquaculture is now being disturbed in the regions around the Lake Turkana. That was the issue, current affairs issue. In that context came this question, Lake Turkana. Let us see, Lake Turkana, it is the largest desert lake in the world. Whenever I call desert lake, it means there is a lake and around the lake complete desert area is there, dry area is there. And that is the same reason why whenever you have dry area, you will have salt content accumulation in the lake. So Lake Turkana is surrounded by drier area, Africa. It is in the Africa. So for that reason, it is desert lake, correct. But how can I know whether it is largest or not? It is again a GK question. Largest or not is a GK question. You cannot derive it. There is no concept in it. So you have to read again. Important facts. So this statement is correct. It is the largest desert lake in the world. And this lake is situated in the South Sudan, along the eastern fringe of the Sahara district. And this is the trap. Whenever a country is given, most of the times UPSC tries to swap the names. Maybe the country names. Here South Sudan is not the country. Lake Turkana is 90% of the lake is in Kenya, northern Kenya, and 10% of this lake is in Ethiopia. So there are two countries Lake Turkana spreads into. One is northern Kenya and 10% of it will spread into Ethiopia. But if you see the world map, interestingly, if this is Lake Turkana, till here you have Kenya, and till this point you have Ethiopia, and just here, whatever this portion is there, now this is South Sudan. If you see Lake Turkana, almost till the border you will see the lake. And somebody who is not focusing extremely on that boundary point, he may confuse and he can consider this South Sudan is correct answer. But in reality, South Sudan has nothing in contact with the Lake Turkana. It is nearest border, but South Sudan is not, the Lake Turkana is not part of South Sudan. Only it extends into Ethiopia and northern Kenya. So these lakes are very important whenever we come to discuss about this, not only fisheries issue, livelihood issue. Even this, most of the lakes are right now drying up because of different man-made constructions, man-made encroachments. We have been listening, na? So lakes are very, very important, especially African lakes, Victoria Lake and all these things. In this context, this country is wrong. It should be Kenya and Ethiopia, not South Sudan. The lake is listed as UNESCO World Heritage Site and is also referred to as Jade Sea. Till here, current affairs dominated, correct statement. UNESCO World Heritage Site, Lake Turkana. Why? See, I recognize you because you are in trouble, you are in crisis. To protect you, I will recognize you and I will fund you. That's the idea of World Heritage Sites. Whenever UNESCO feels some structure, Moidam, some temple, Ramappa, or some lake, Turkana, is important for the world, then it will start recognizing it as heritage site. So Lake Turkana is important for fisheries, the neighborhood local population, but it is in crisis. So now UNESCO came into the picture and it recognized it as a World Heritage Site. This is correct, but this is referred to as the Jade Sea. What is this word Jade Sea? Jade means it is a color which is almost near to green color. Jade color, green color. Why this green color is visible in this Lake Turkana? Whenever you see more algal bloom, you see some color is being added into the lake. Fresh water has no color. That's the property of water. But because algal bloom is growing much, we are seeing there is a coloring of water. Now the total Lake Turkana is converting into green color. And that is the issue. So this green color is nothing but jade color. So we call the same lake as the Jade Sea. That is the conceptual basis. So this statement is correct. It is listed as UNESCO World Heritage Site and it is referred to as the Jade Sea. Correct statement. Coming to the options. Largest deep desert, correct. This country is wrong. 2 should be wrong. And the third statement is also correct. So 1 and 3. B is the answer. Next 30. Very factual question. Unless and until you know the current affairs, you can't do it. What is this? First Plan Vivo certified RED Plus project in India. I repeat. There is a program, world program called as RED Plus. What is RED Plus? Reducing emissions. We have to cut down the emissions from deforestation and forest degradation. So when deforestation is going on, what actually is happening? Greenhouses are being released into the nature, carbon, especially carbon dioxide. So when we cut down the deforestation, when we protect the forest, what happens? Emissions will generally come down. So that is the idea. We have to reduce the emissions by cutting actually deforestation, by focusing on not going for the deforestation, focusing on the afforestation project. So that is the project. Wherever in the world people are going for conservation of the forest, there comes this RED Plus project. So the question is, under the RED Plus project, what is the Plan Vivo certified? Okay, what is the Plan Vivo certified project? So simply Plan Vivo is simply nothing but a foundation, international foundation. It certifies some different projects in the world, and whenever this certifies, this certificate can be used for the carbon trading. That is a important point here. So this same certificate can be used for the carbon trading. What is carbon trading? You know, right? You can just to offset the emissions. I am a person who is emitting the different gases. To offset the emissions, I can simply buy this certificate from somebody who is not going for emissions. That's the idea. So this Plan Vivo is a foundation. it certified a project in India. What is that project? It is Khasi Hills Community Red Place project. Simple current affairs question. Okay, next. This one, India's long-term low emission development strategy is a crucial tool for achieving net zero emissions. See, 2070 we have to achieve net zero emissions. For that, what we have to go for a development strategy. Which type of low emission type? So it's a generic statement, correct. That is the idea. India's fourth report, biennial report submitted in December, it said 8% decrease happened in the greenhouse gas emissions in 2020 over the 2019. That means our aim is to reduce the emissions, and the report says yes, exactly that is happening. Over 1 year, 2019 to 2020, 8% decrease happened in the greenhouse gas emissions. So it is almost like giving some statistical data to the first statement. So both are correct. Climate resilient development necessarily depends on quick and short-term achievement of the emission reduction targets. See, climate resilient development we are going for, but not in the short term, right? Our focus is on the long term, because we should not compromise on development. Right now, development is very important. So we cannot simply go for short-term achievement of emission targets and stop all coal use, everything. Right? We can't afford it. So this is simply contradicting the statement 1. Statement 1 says long-term emissions is our goal to achieve 2017 net zero target. But statement 3 says we should necessarily go for short-term cut down of the emissions. We can't afford that. So statement 3 is generally wrong. So coming to the options. Statement 1 is empirically supported. Statement 2, that means statistical data, correct. Statement 3 contradicts the approach implicit in statement 1, correct. And coming to the statement 1 and 3 together, they will establish long-term sustainability. No, because statement 3 is speaking only about short-term achievements. So this statement 3 is wrong. 1 and 2 are correct. So option B. Next. Western Hoolock gibbons, very important, because this is the only ape present in India. So the question is, there is a sanctuary in Northeast India which is home to ape species listed as endangered in IUCN. There are 2-3 facts mixed here. Actually, this option is correct because IUCN status endangered gibbons, the only ape present in India. So this is correct. In the Northeast, there is a sanctuary. Whenever we listen the term sanctuary, that means to protect a particular species. So here, yes, in the Assam, we have a sanctuary with the same name, Holongon Sparan something untudu oka name, Holong Gaspus Sanctuary. This was in Northeast India. Here they will protect the gibbons. So statement 1 is correct. They have specialized brachiation and can easily swing between trees. Anthropology students will definitely tell it. It is correct. So gibbons, they are specialized brachiation means simply they will swing from one branch to other branch by using their 2 upper limbs or not hind limbs, 4 limbs. So this is what called as branchiation, going from one branch to another branch, and they are specialized in that. Whenever some animal to shift from one tree to another tree, should we expect the body to be very tough and heavy or to be lightweight? Lightweight, right? So third statement says it is strong and heavy build gorillas. They almost like they possess a strong and heavy build gorillas, remarkably agile. For that agility, this statement is wrong because it should maintain a light weight. Unless and until they have light weight of bodies, they cannot swing between the trees. So statement 3 is common sense. It is eliminated. 1 and 2 are correct. Next, 33. Mangroves, simple. Whenever you listen mangroves, conceptual clarity, there is no fresh water. Always we will see brackish water. Mangroves means brackish. Brackish means almost not completely salt, not completely fresh. So that is the idea. Mangroves reduce the tidal energy, obviously correct. They store the fresh water. Chalo, option wrong. Nothing to do with fresh water. Salt sensitive roots, yes correct. They filter the sea water and they convert the coastal land into fresh water. Chalo, wrong. They don't convert into fresh water. By withstanding the tidal surges, offering the biomass resources, they act as bioshield, correct. They give livelihood base for generic statement. This is correct. And whenever you see fresh water, nothing to do with the mangroves. So option 3 is only correct. Next, not option 3 is correct. In what ways Vizhinjam International Seaport? See, common sense. International. That means definitely ships will go from our country to other countries. That's the idea. So see the points. Exclusively domestic. I don't read the total option. Exclusively domestic. International. Opposite words. Chalo, cross. By focusing primarily on passenger cruise tourism. No, Vizhinjam port generally it is being constructed for transshipment of what? Goods. Especially not to rely more on the Colombo port. We are relying more on the Colombo port right now to reduce the reliance on the Sri Lanka's port, we are right now constructing 2 projects. One is Great Nicobar project in Andaman and Nicobar, that's the issue, and on the western coast we are constructing Vizhinjam international project. So here the statement says for passenger cruise, no, nothing, it has nothing to do with passenger. And third one, generic statement, by leveraging natural deep raft. Whenever you have deep raft, that means sudden mean sea level going down, there you will see construction of ports. So this is correct, almost 20 meters sudden draft will be there. So that is the advantage of the Vizhinjam port. Strategic location, obviously, to reduce dependence on foreign transshipment ports, Colombo ports, enhance revenue retention, reposition, all these are generic statements. So that's the idea of transshipment of this port itself, construction of port. So first statement is obviously wrong, second statement is wrong, third statement only correct. So option D. Next, identify the Indian subcontinent river for these features. Antecedent river, what is meant by antecedent river? A river which is there before the formation of Himalayan rivers. Simple fact, a river which is existing before the formation of Himalayan rivers. Such rivers are called as antecedent. Even after the formation of Himalayan rivers, they will just cut through the Himalayas, but they don't change the direction. Such type of rivers are called as antecedent rivers. So what are such type of rivers? One is Satluj, same antecedent river. Another one is Brahmaputra, antecedent river. Even Indus, antecedent river. So here confusion, to just make you confused, he has given almost antecedent rivers. It flows through 3 countries. Brahmaputra, let us see, it started in Tibet, then it comes into India, then it enters as Jamuna in Bangladesh. So obviously we can say Brahmaputra can be one of the answer. But still Indus, it also starts in the same, and it goes to Pakistan through India. And again Satluj, it also starts in the same Tibet, and again through India, it again confusion. So with the second statement also we can't deduce the right answer. Third one, it originates in the Tibetan plateau. Tibetan plateau, again you will see Brahmaputra, Tibetan plateau itself. One we can eliminate, Teesta. Teesta is origin in the generally Sikkim. So Teesta is eliminated. Coming to these 3, it doesn't form distributaries. In India, we don't see distributary formation for Brahmaputra, because when it enters the mouth of the sea, there the distributaries are generally formed. That is in Bangladesh. So in India, we don't see any formation of distributaries. So the answer is Brahmaputra for this question. Okay, next. Time is very less for me, I have to rush. Now, which of the following are not correct? Very, very important, not correct. Uttar Pradesh sharing boundary with highest number of other Indian states, correct. Because UP is sharing border with almost 8 states and 1 NCT, National Capital Territory of the Delhi. That means 1 union territory and 8 states, and this is a factual option, correct. Second one, Rajasthan shares longest international border among all Indian states, wrong statement. What is that state which is with international longest boundary? It is West Bengal. Okay, so this is not Rajasthan. Our answer should be not correct. We have to identify the not correct. That means definitely this option 2 should be there in the answer. And Sikkim is the only state that shares its boundary with just 1 other Indian state. Sikkim, correct. Sikkim states boundary with only West Bengal. That is correct. But along with Sikkim, even Nagaland also having the same feature. Nagaland will have boundary only with Assam. So there are 2 states. But here he says Sikkim is the only state that shares its boundary with other Indian states. But in this context, this Nagaland and Assam, it has some boundary disputes. Even till today, there is no established boundary between Nagaland and Assam. So technically, for exam purpose, for textbook purpose, generally we see Sikkim is the only state as a right statement. So in that sense, we can see option 2 should be there, 2 should be there, and 3, Sikkim is the only state. 1 definitely should not be there because it is a right statement. 1 should not be there. 1 should not be there. Either 2 and 3 or 3 only. But definitely 2 is a wrong statement. So 2 and 3 is the answer. Okay, next, last 3 questions. Amur falcons, it is a migratory bird. It comes to a lake called as Doyang Lake, which is in Nagaland every year. That's the concept. Here the questions are, it showcases, that means a bird coming every year. It showcases the sustained local conservation efforts which can contribute to arrival and protection of migratory birds. Are local people మంచిగా కష్టపడుతుంటే కంటిన్యూస్గా బర్డ్స్ వస్తూ ఉంటాయి పోతూ ఉంటాయి. ఆ విషయాన్ని చెప్తున్నాడు కరెక్టే కదా, రైట్ పాయింట్, కన్జర్వేషన్ ఎఫర్ట్స్. సెకండ్ వన్, ఇట్ రిఫ్లెక్ట్స్, ఏం చెప్తుందట, గ్లోబల్ సక్సెస్ అయిన ఒక ప్రాజెక్ట్లో ఈ మైగ్రేషన్ చూసి మనం ఒకటి చెప్పొచ్చు. ఏంటంటే అది అడ్వాన్స్డ్ ట్రాకింగ్ టెక్నాలజీస్. ట్రాకింగ్ అంటే ఒక బర్డ్ వెళ్తుంటే ట్రాక్ చేయడం, అలాంటి ఇప్పుడు రేడియో ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీ తోటి కూడా మనం ట్రాక్ చేస్తున్నాం. అలాంటి టెక్నాలజీస్ ఉన్నాయి, కానీ దట్ విల్ గైడ్ ద మైగ్రేటరీ బర్డ్స్ బ్యాక్ టు దేర్ స్టాప్ ఓవర్ సైట్స్. అంటే ఒక బర్డ్ ఎటు వెళ్ళాలో కూడా మనమే ఒక డివైస్తోని గైడ్ చేయగలుగుతున్నామా రైట్ నో? వీ ఓన్లీ ట్రాక్ ద మైగ్రేటరీ బర్డ్స్, వీ డోంట్ గైడ్ ద బర్డ్స్. దట్స్ ద ట్రాప్ హియర్. సో స్టేట్మెంట్ 2 is wrong. We have advanced technology but not to guide the birds, it is just to track the birds. But here the statement says we have advanced tracking technologies that will guide the migratory birds. No device in this world can guide any living organism right now at this stage of technology. So 2 is wrong. Obviously 2 is wrong. 1 definitely should be right. So 3 I cannot even need, there is no need to read, because permanent residency, migration, opposite words. Permanent residency, migration, opposite words. Chalo, option wrong. So answer is 1 is correct, only 1, option A. Last 3 questions. Rain-fed area development. Rain-fed, that means rainfall is very less, I have to go for reduction of resource use and everything, right? That's the idea. Rain-fed area development mission. Encouraging monoculture in rain-fed areas. Monoculture means just going for only one crop, one type of crop. It is completely illogical. It is against nature. Nature will support only diversity. It will never support the monoculture. So be it rain-fed development program or some other program, no program will suggest monoculture. Monoculture is against nature. So diversity is the key for conservation. So this option is wrong. 1 is wrong. Now increasing rice cultivation in irrigated regions. What this program has to do with rice cultivation? Why should it bother about only one crop? It has nothing to do with one crop, right? It should focus on what area development, not on crop development. So rice, nothing to do with the rain-fed area development program. It generally to enhance the productivity and to minimize the climate risk through integrated farming system. Integrated means you have to go for farming, agriculture, domestication of plants. At the same time, you have to go for domestication of animals, pastoralism. Combining these two is nothing but integrated farming system. So obviously this is right. So 3 is only right. Last 2 questions. OICO TEX certification. TEX means textile. So this certification is generally given to chemical-free textiles. If you are making a textile without any use of chemicals, harmful chemicals, and environmental friendly textile, that means this certification will be given to you. And whenever you get that certification, what happens? That's the question. See the first one, it allows Indian exporters to compete in high-end markets where these chemical-free products are prioritized. Obviously, right? European countries, North European countries, they generally prefer what? Environment friendly textiles. So we can go there. If you have this certificate, our textiles can go, Eri silk can go there and compete there in the market. So option 1 correct. It confirms that Eri silk will meet the international safety because no harms, no chemicals are used, environmental safety, quality standards, and entry into very generic statement. So when you have this certification, obviously every country will allow your textile to be sold in that market. So option 1 is correct, option 2 is correct. And last question in this environment and geography session, ships Strait of Hormuz to enter into Indian Ocean. Which country's ships must pass through the Strait of Hormuz to enter into Arabian Sea? That means you have to know first Persian Gulf, okay, then Gulf of Oman, then you will have Arabian Sea. So first Persian Gulf countries you have to know, then here you will have Oman Gulf, and then Indian Ocean, nothing but Arabian Sea. Now the question is, what are the important countries? They must pass the Strait of Hormuz to reach the Arabian Sea or Indian Ocean. So we have first Iraq, Persian Gulf flow, we see first Iraq, after Iraq, Iran, and then you will see here Kuwait, here Bahrain, here Oman, Saudi Arabia. These are the Persian Gulf countries. So Bahrain, yes, Persian Gulf country. It has to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. Syria, it has nothing to do with Persian Gulf because it is other side of the Western Asia, so it is generally connecting to Mediterranean Sea. So it has nothing to do with the Persian Gulf, right? So Syria need not cross the Strait of Hormuz. Qatar, obviously yes, it has to pass through. Egypt has nothing to do with Persian Gulf because Red Sea is there. Through Red Sea, it can enter the Indian Ocean. So here only 2 countries, Bahrain and Qatar, their ships must cross through the Strait of Hormuz to reach the Indian Ocean. So here options 1 and 3 is right answer. So these are the questions from geography and environment. So I'm very sorry for longer session, but I try to give you the conceptual basis also for every option. So I think this year paper is relatively moderate paper. When I have to judge it, moderate paper. That means not very difficult. Obviously, when I am explaining, you might have felt it, right? They are not very difficult. The problem here is the options. Options are very difficult, so we have to play the game of these options. You have to learn, practice more and more mock tests so that easily you can crack it. The concept and conceptual clarity is key in every subject, not only in geography and environment. In every subject, please focus on concepts. Don't rely on any shortcuts. Shortcuts will never work, because if those work in this year, definitely UPSC will change the pattern next year. So all effort will just go into vain. Please don't focus on shortcuts and anything. Only key is the concept. When you have conceptual base, obviously any pattern you will just crack it. Okay. So all the best for your mains, and thank you for this session.